At this point, Mom, I feel like you are not listening to what I'm saying, and I think you are trying to persuade us to go to visits to see Carmilla. But
No, I'm asking y'all to go because I want to see y'all, and that would be the only way I can see y'all and interact with y'all
that's not
without my mom being around, and I will be able to do visits at a place
okay.
where
But
people will
but
be
Mom,
watching us.
but
So
Mom, you had that chance 11
no,
years
I've never
ago.
had that chance. I've never had that chance to do that. I've been
Well,
trying
you
to do
did, but you
things
never
her
stepped
way,
up
and
to have that
there's no way.
responsibility.
So
Here, we got a video. This video right here. There's actually more parts to this video, and now I implore you to search and check this out for yourself. But we're just gonna highlight this particular video, and it's a video about this young lady that you see right here on the screen. And I want to say I want to say she's somewhere between the ages of 10 and 12 years old. But her mother apparently just kind of in a way just left her and her siblings with the grandmother, and the grandmother takes care of them, and the grandmother is the one that you see with the camera taking the video. But I don't want you to focus so much on what the grandmother is saying, but I really want you to focus on what this young lady is saying, what this little girl is saying as she's speaking to her mother, and you see the phone in her hand. Her mother is on the phone on speaker, and I want you to just listen to what this young lady is saying, and this right here will get to the heart of why we need to do better as parents. So let it roll, Uncle Scruff. Let it roll.
All right, let's get into it.
Right. Everything you do is right. Everybody else is at fault where I'm at fault because you abandoned your kids and left your kids for somebody else to raise with no financial support, no love, no nothing. And when I say absolutely nothing, I never in my life saw kids born in this world and they mommy and daddy don't give a damn how they eat. Do you? Do you really? Well, the goddamn it, I would hate to see you hater. Wow. This, you know what? And Cariel, I'm sorry you got to go through this again, baby. Granny gonna shut the hell up. I'm not gonna talk to her no more because you already know this brings out the nasty in me, and I'm not gonna go do that. We said we wasn't gonna do this no more. You told me you didn't never want to talk about this shit no more, and I'm gonna respect you on that. So I'm gonna shut the fuck up. I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
I love my kids.
And Mom, it really doesn't feel like it. It doesn't.
I'm
To
sorry
be
you
honest,
feel that way, baby, but that's
I mean, I don't care. I mean, it doesn't feel like you care about my feelings, anyways. I mean, I tried to talk to you about my feelings, but it doesn't work because every single time I try to talk to you, I either get interrupted or you just talk over me, or you just make up excuses or reasons that you left us, which you're trying to say that you didn't left us, which is kind of crazy because if you really didn't leave us, did we just magically appear in Granny's house?
Oh shit.
Did we? Because it's kind of confusing. I mean, it made you making it seem like I'm 2 years old or something. Like I don't understand anything. Like I don't live the way I live every single day. Like I don't know what's going every on, knowing that my mom really don't care. My mom doesn't
leaving y'all
really care.
versus asking your grandma for help is two different things. And if I had to know
Okay, but you
anything
left
about
us,
power of
and you really.
attorney,
I mean,
this would have never been that
no,
situation
but
back
Mom,
then.
you
If I
didn't try
had
to
known
take care
about
of
power of
us.
She should have
attorney,
got
You
an
didn't.
attorney too.
You didn't try at all to take care of us at all.
no, I did.
You didn't.
No,
And
I did.
I mean, every single time I try to tell you to sign the adoption, you making an excuse why you can't sign the adoption. You trying to say there's another way. Well, Mom, I kind of really don't want to live with you
You don't
because
have to live with me.
I don't want to.
You don't have to live with me.
Okay.
Versus going to visit.
And maybe if you show me that you actually care and sign the adoption, so we can have food out our mouth, but instead of taking food out our mouth and taking clothes off our backs, maybe I just might want to live
I'm
with
just
you,
confused
but not
because
live
there's
with
a lot
you,
of people
visit
out
you.
here homeless and don't eat, and y'all got clothes and
When
y'all
I,
Wow.
got food.
okay,
That's
but how do
somebody
you?
else
Like
problem.
you said, you not eating or you ain't
But
got no
did you?
clothes to wear.
But mom, can you remember the last time that you even ever like brought me a pair of shoes? And please don't say you brought us Robux or please don't
So
say
I
that.
never brought you anything.
Wow.
I mean, years ago, about 2 or 3
Okay.
years ago, 4 or 5 years
Okay.
ago.
Ain't been no 2 or 3.
Okay.
You know she ain't did
But-
nothing for y'all. She know
but-
she ain't been there. She know that.
Yeah, she shut her down.
Yeah.
And you don't care that I grew up without a mom. You don't care.
Yeah, I do.
You know, you don't.
And you ain't grow up without a mom.
I
always
did.
been there. So
I did.
somebody else been
But
there.
actually you didn't. You had a grandma/mama. So I get how you're feeling though.
Yeah, but
And
not a
I
mother
get
figure.
I get how you
Not
feel.
this one.
I get how you feel. But it's okay, Cariel. Okay, we talk about this. We
I
done
understand
talked
you
about it.
understand.
And if she wanna keep changing that narrative on you, you know better. You don't have to feed off into that because that's just a crock of mess. She knows she don't do nothing. Every time she call, it ain't nothing but arguments after arguments.
You don't even make sense.
You don't make sense.
How do you sit up there and say somebody ain't been trying to do
You
something
haven't.
and you try to
You haven't. You don't even.
everything?
You don't even care to build a relationship.
I don't have to manipulate anything.
Mom, you.
First of all, you left your kids.
Thank you.
They were 7 years old. The guardianship had ran this course.
Oh, boy.
The guardianship didn't have no business lasting
Oh, my
7 years.
goodness.
So
Good.
Thank you.
All right. Check this out. I wanted you to stop there only because
She
from
exploded.
this point on in the video, the grandmother just goes off and she proceeds to do a lot of cussing, and you know what I'm saying. I do a lot of cussing too. My grandmother, it doesn't matter. She just goes off on her daughter.
Okay, I
Right.
do get that.
So we
I get
don't
the gist.
need all of that. I think we
Yeah.
got the gist of what's going on. And I wanted to highlight the fact that this little girl spoke from her heart. You know what I'm saying? You can tell it wasn't scripted. You can tell that the grandmother wasn't really driving the whole conversation. She wasn't really driving the narrative of it. You know what I mean? And this little girl was like, she was really talking like, Mom, like, wow, what are you doing for us? You know what I'm saying?
Check out Get It Off Your Chest Media.
But, because you should have never left us. I mean, you're right. You're right. You know, I grew up without a mom and dad, and I know the feeling. Yeah, I already know how it is, Mom, because I grew up without a mom and dad. So, yeah, I grew up without a mom and dad that you really didn't care at all. And every single time, and you're not putting in the effort to have a relationship with me, Cadence.
I'm trying to build a relationship.
No, you're not putting in any effort, though. You're not putting. No.
Yes, I am. That is me putting in the effort, Cario. It's not her way. It's another way for me to
her
be able
way.
to have
What I got to do with the relationship?
Okay, but Mom. Well, I don't want to live with you, Mom. And yes, I would love to visit you, but I would love to visit you when you got your stuff together and you actually care about our well-being. Well, you don't care about our well-being, and nor do you have
She didn't even listen to nothing you said.
Go to the visits for an hour
Mom,
or two,
and another thing is you don't listen to me at all. I mean, I'm trying to talk, but you're not letting me to.
About something based off
Wow.
No, because you don't listen to me, Mom. You don't even know me.
What's not true?
You don't know me. You don't.
I my child.
Wow.
Yeah, that's okay, but it doesn't feel like I'm your child. It really doesn't. It really doesn't feel like I'm your child though, because you don't care about my well-being. You don't care at all.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. Because
She
if you
didn't
did, you would sign an
She
adoption.
didn't even listen to you. She started talking over you.
I care about knowing what you dream of. I care about knowing what kind of food you like or what you want to eat.
Wow.
All right, but you're not putting any effort to pay for the food, paying for the clothes, and there's an easier way that we can do this, but you're just making it hard. You're not making it easy. You're making it really hard. Yes, there is an easier way, but you're not
Taking
compliant
out
to
your
that.
mouth and not putting nothing in.
But Mom, you're not listening to me at all. You can't.
I'm just telling you.
No, every single time I try to talk to you, it's hard for me to talk to you because you don't listen.
Keep talking over you.
Mom, You
been
don't.
leading the conversation
Okay, but you should listen to
off
me.
feelings.
If you really care, you should really listen to me. You don't care about what I'm saying, though. You don't.
feel like the only way to
No.
help y'all is by letting her adopt
Yeah.
y'all, and I'm telling
Yeah.
y'all that's not true. And I'm sorry
Yes.
that she convinced y'all. It's really not.
Okay, but Mom, you're talking bad
really
about
not
your mom.
funny.
Is saying.
I'm not
I mean, if
saying
you really
anything
didn't
bad
want
about
us to
her.
live with Granny, you should have never left us, though. Because if you thought if you thought that your mom was a very bad influence on taking care of us, you really did, because you didn't fight for us. So you
Wow.
technically just left us.
If he,
So
the
what? How
same
do you
conversation.
put it? How do you put it, Mom? How do you put that? How do you put that, Mom? But how you put it? But did you just what?
Fighting for me now, and I'm 12, finna be a teenager.
You left us. You left us for too long. So what do you want me to do? Just adapt to another space? Because I really don't want to.
I'm not going to. You don't have
You
to.
think the system would have just took my rights? That's automatic termination of rights.
Okay,
What the hell?
okay, but Mom.
CPS never took.
But I got a question for you. Why don't you want to sign the adoption? Because you don't care about our well-being?
No, that's not the only way.
What's the reason?
What's the reason, though?
What's the reason? The reason is because she don't want y'all to have nothing in life, and she ain't doing that, and she just trying to do everything to stop y'all from eating.
Adoption is not the only answer.
Okay, but
If the adoption is to feed them, to clothe them, and to help them keep a roof over their head, yes, it is. Yes, it is. When y'all not providing for them, y'all not paying for this rent, y'all not paying for their food, y'all not paying for no clothes, no shoes, no lights, no gas, no hairdos, no gas in the car to take them when they get sick, no medicine, no nothing. You know what, Shatari? At this point, though, I'm finna to stop all You talk to her now. But at this point, I'm going to stop all communication until they turn 18, because you ain't nothing but the devil, baby. You don't want your kids to have nothing. You want your kids to live in fucking like bums. Girl, they don't even matter. Only thing you got is excuses. And I'm done talking to you, because I'm going to let you have all of that, baby. Whatever you say, you right. Me, Cariel, and Cadence, we been rocking since Cadence was a month old, baby. And we ain't stopped. One thing they can say is my granny ain't never turned her back on me. My granny gave us her all. My granny took every damn dime that she made, and she do it for us. She don't spend shit on herself. Nothing. Ain't bought no motherfucking shoes in 2 or 3 motherfucking years. Girl, bye. But what I can say is mommy and daddy ain't did a damn thing. Y'all got his motherfucking excuse, because let's be honest, can't nobody stop nobody from getting their kids. All you had to do was do what the courts told you to do, and you would have had your kids. There's no way in hell your kids should have been left with me for no motherfucking 11 years. Almost 12 years. That's crazy. That's crazy. And the only thing you keep calling, just got out of jail. You don't know how to call and talk to them. You keep talking to them about stuff that they don't want to hear. Cariel don't want to keep reliving this shit. This shit is terrorizing her. Leave her alone with it. Leave her alone with it. You are. She don't even want to talk about this shit.
She keep putting stuff in your head.
I don't have to put shit in their head. They live in this.
Mom.
You tell them everything to manipulate the situation.
You trying to. Why? Because you not succeeding in it. Why? Because you not succeeding in it. Then you act like these kids is infants. This girl finna be 13 in a minute, baby. She finna start bleeding. Are you fucking kidding me? You think she 5? You think she 4? You don't think she understand life? You don't think she understand life? You don't think your daughter deserves to know that? Girl, I don't know nothing about what nobody showed you, baby. This ain't about you. This is about Cariel, Cadence, and Carmi. I don't give a fuck what you want. If I was such a bad motherfucking mama to you, there ain't no way in hell you should have left your kids with me under no fucking circumstances. I wouldn't give a fuck what was going on. You should have kept your kids. You should have stayed off the drugs, and you should have raised your kids. You chose not to.
This call will be recorded.
Ain't nobody on drugs.
I don't know what you on. You was when you left your babies. You was on something for you to leave 3 motherfucking babies out here and not and don't have a care in the world. You don't have a care in the world about your kids. You like to.
That's probably why you're thinking about it.
Wow.
Hey,
We're not thinking. Shatari, guess what? You can talk all the shit you want to talk about me. You can say I was a drug addict. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say. But what you can't say is my mama left me. I bet you that. I bet you can't say that. I bet y'all had clothes, food, a roof over y'all head. Y'all had every motherfucking thing y'all need. So if I was on drugs, baby, I guarantee you it'd interfere how you was brought up, how you was raised, and what you was able to have. So screw yourself with that one, baby, and you can go to hell with it and back, baby, because nothing you can say or do gonna make me feel no type of way. The only time I get angry like this is when I know I got a daughter out there that walked away from 3 babies and don't have no reason but to be mad and angry at somebody else because you made them choices. All you and Jerry had to do was go to court. And matter of fact, you didn't even have to go to motherfucking court because you didn't have no business leaving your kids in the first motherfucking place. Let's start there. Let's start there. You want your actions to be excused. You want your actions to be excused.
And there are other parts, and I really implore you all to check this out. Look and see I think there's 2 more parts to it, but it kind of goes. It's on the same track of what this young lady was saying, because it's just crazy that the mother just feels like she does more than what she actually does for these children. And then I've even watched more of the videos, just like the candid videos or whatever that they shoot around the house. And there's like 2 young men, there's 2 of the young men. I think there's 3. There's like 2 other girls besides her, and there's also a baby. And I was trying to put together whether or not the baby and all of the children were that particular mother's children, or were they from another one of the grandmother's children. I don't know, but it seems like they were all her children. That's kind of what I got from it, but you might have to make your own, figure that out for yourself. I'm not really 100% sure on that, but just the way that this young lady was talking is the thing that got my attention, and it kind of hit home, because when you are a product of a broken home, and even though it is just your mother that you have, and you feel like the one person that is all you have doesn't really want much to do with you, like, that is hurtful. That's hurtful. It's hurtful, and I can see why. I didn't want to be the one to expose you all to the grandmother's anger, and you'll see it for yourself. But it shouldn't. I just think it's crazy that you continue to have kids and you just keep throwing them on your mother. Like, that shit ain't fair, because at this point the grandmother has raised her children, and I don't think it's fair for her to have to raise her grandchildren. But you know what? If the grandmother is all that they got, that I would rather them be with the grandmother than them being in the system and thrown into foster care or something else or whatever, just because the mother made the choices that she made. And if you've seen the short that I made, it kind of goes along the same lines, because it's like you got all of these women that are so frustrated with their children because they're single mothers and they're so strong, and I'm an independent woman and all this other stuff, and I don't need a man. But you made the choices to have babies with these type of individuals that don't want anything to do with your children that they have with you. And you sit here and deal with that type of woman that can't even deal with her own fucking children. And those are the ones that are running around out here. Just a couple of weeks ago, you had all these groups of young teenagers and stuff that were just running from one part of town to another in large groups, just causing havoc. And it's not cool. It ain't cute and it ain't okay. And it's like you look at it and you say, where are the parents? Who's raising these kids? You know what I'm saying? Because they're running around here, they're stomping on people's cars. They go to a place where it's supposed to be like a family environment, you know, where they got go-karts, video games, bowling, and all this other stuff. But y'all choose to come here in groups just to create chaos and start fighting. And you got people running and afraid for their fucking lives. And they got little children and stuff, or whatever. That's what it is. Like, who is raising these individuals? You know, and this little girl, the grandmother, I give her all the props in the world, because, you know, she is the one trying to raise them to be something. And, you know, the mother apparently doesn't want to have much to do with them. She claims that she does, but, you know, talk is cheap. If you really want to do something, you're going to be on the scene. You're going to make the effort. And these children, this young lady by herself sees that the mother is not even making the effort. You're not even making the effort. You know what I'm saying? So what do you do with a mother? Forget the father, because apparently the father is definitely not in the situation. And who knows if the father, you know, with the children, all of the children involved, do they have the same father? Probably not. Is it safe to say? But at the end of the day, the mother is the one that they're looking to for comfort, the one they're looking to for nurturing, the one they're looking to say, hey, you know, you're taking care of me. Well, the mother's not even there for none of that. She's not there for any of that. So I don't know. What do y'all think?
No, I got the first thing I want to say about this is I do like that the girl is very articulate. Love it. The one thing that I do have a problem with, everybody else is hiding behind the camera and they're focusing the camera on her. There should be some adults in the room, and I'm not really sure why everybody else is talking from behind the camera. I do understand the grandmother's frustration, although the one thing I will say is that I think the grandmother may be lying in a bed that she created, because I don't know if this is not her only kid and she is not being the parent that she should be. I'm wondering what kind of a parent that she saw. Don't get me wrong, the grandmother sounds right in this, and she does sound like she does sound like a mom who put in her work and is also trying to be a grandmother. But on the surface, I do question it because of the way the mom is speaking. I love my kids. I care about my kids, but she's never there. Even the daughter can let you know that she's never there. That means she's living in a world that's a bit delusional, which is she sees what she's doing as enough. Or maybe she doesn't see it as enough and she is just bullshitting. But a lot of people, I've noticed, I've never heard anyone that said, well, no, I can't say that. I've heard it on TV. But for the most part, most people, I don't care what kind of parent they are, they're usually going to say, well, I'm a good parent, or I tried the best I could. I can tell you right now, I know quite a few parents, and I won't call out anybody else right now but my mother, because it's my mother. I can do that. She would, for the longest time, say that she loved you. She was doing the best she could. The whole time along the line, she wasn't doing the best she could. She wasn't even remotely trying to do the best she could. My dad did the best he could. I can understand that. Listening to the daughter, though, the mom doesn't sound like she's around. The mom sounds like she leaves all her kids' responsibility on the grandmother for the most part. The grandmother's very vocal about that. And hats off to the grandmother. If she's taking on that responsibility, I am happy that she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It's not what she's supposed to be doing. It's something that she's doing, because she's already done her bit. She took care of her kid. Yeah. She raised him. Whether she did it right or wrong, I don't know. I'm not privy to that information. But I do understand that regardless of what your parent did, I don't care if the grandmother was a great grandmother. I don't care if the grandmother was a terrible grandmother. You now were adult enough to have some kids. So therefore, regardless if you had a good mom or a bad mom, it is your turn. What my favorite phrase is, and when I talk to my father about it, it's you take the good and leave the rest. So whatever your parent did that was good, you take that part. Whatever your parent did was bad, you leave that part. It's called breaking a cycle. Now, I don't know if they had a cycle here because I can't tell from this part of the video. But what I can say is that if you hear your kid vocalizing that you are not there, if you hear your kid vocalizing that they feel like you don't care, if you hear your kid vocalizing these things that it's hurting them, then that means you need to address something. I don't know exactly what it is because I'm not in your family, but that is a call for help. So why are you not answering the phone? That's all I'm going to say about this. That is a neglectful mother. If your kid can sit there and say, I don't see you, and I'm not even saying that you have to spoil your kids, but if she can say you don't do anything and you bought me a pair of sneakers 5 years ago, well, and she's also saying, because you might be a parent that doesn't have the money, and 5 years is your cycle where you can afford sneakers. I don't have a problem with that, but that's not what she's saying here. She's adding in those things because she's showing how neglectful the parent is. That's what it is. It's not really about when did you buy the sneakers.
It's not the grandmother.
Or excuse me, the mother.
It's the daughter.
Yeah, it's not. She's not talking about the actual sneakers. The sneakers are a representation of how neglectful she feels you're being. So I don't really care if you bought her sneakers 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 1 year ago. The whole point is that she's calling out for her mother, and her mother is not answering the phone. That's the whole problem with this situation. And that's pretty much where I will leave it at for me, because I understand this. I know for a fact that I called out for my mom quite a few times, and my mom showed me exactly who she was. And this girl's finding out exactly who her mom is. The one thing that I will say is that I'm very proud of the grandmother. If she had to stick out the bid and take care of the kid and raise the kid, she at least let the kid know who her mom is. She exposed the kid to her mom as possible.
But that's not the only child in the house. She has more. She has like 5. It's either 5 or 6 of the children, because I watched more than just this video. This one has multiple parts to it, but what I did was I wanted to see more. I wanted to really see what was going on in the household, and it's really the grandmother taking on like 5 or 6 kids.
Goddamn.
And and that was my thing. And this is the one, she's the most vocal about what's going on. This one here, she's the one that's on the front line, and she has siblings that are older and younger than her, but she's the one that's locked in with what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? And that's why that I tuned into it again. You know what I mean? But Too Cold, I need to know what you feel about it.
Give me something on this, because I definitely can see what this little girl is really talking about. She's not about the sneakers. So it's about the mom being there.
First thing, it makes me thankful that I haven't had to look for my parent or parents for anything they've done. They did it all as much as they could, right? So I mean, this scenario with the kids and with the grandmom, I mean, you hear that all the time, man. That's a big thing. So something, and the grandma might be a single mom. See, so it's like that.
It appears to be
that cycle. I mean, I'm only guessing, but it just gives me that vibe, maybe.
It gives me that vibe too. You think you're right.
I feel like that.
But I have a little connection. My mother grew up with her aunt, so she wasn't raised, but it was a different scenario actually. But my grandfather didn't really, you know what I mean? He wasn't around, so she lived with her aunt. You know what I mean? Grew up that way.
Yeah.
But
The time that they come from, I'm not going to say that was more common because it's probably more common now. But
Yeah, super common.
the way the grandmother sounds, she gives you that feel of an older style grandmother. So I feel like she would be like my mother or my grandmother or something like that. And she has that old feel to her. But I also know that generation made a lot of mistakes in the way they raised their kids. And I will say that my mother's mother, and I'm saying my mother's mother on my mother's side. Reason why I point it out is because my father's mother, way different. But my mother's mother, it took me all the way until I was about 48, 49, and I'm only 50. I will be 51 shortly. It took me till I was about 48 or 49 to actually stop placing all of the blame of my mom on my mom. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I don't blame her. I blame her. Shit. She grew up. She's an adult. She did what she did. Yeah, it's still her fault. But I understand. This mom that my mom says, oh, I miss my mom and stuff like that. Well, I know more about my grandmother now. So that's why I said that's why I'm thinking when you said, I wonder if this lady is a single mom, probably just because of the way things are being handled. And I also don't hear a grandpa or in the background, and I don't hear any grandpa mentioned. Now, I'm not going to say there can't be.
You don't hear any men at all.
Exactly. I don't hear any guys in there. Now, what I am going to say is my grandmother, she had 2 boys and like 5 girls. Okay, well, the boys grew up in the girls. So had an Uncle BB. He was quite bitch. He grew up with the rest of the girls. They all learned from my mother. There was one that was outstanding, my Aunt Valerie. She pretty much raised them. But the rest of them, I loved them, but they were all raised by my grandmother, who was not really there. My grandmother ran the streets. She, so she didn't teach my aunts and my mom how to be a mom. So that's another thing too. Where was this grandma? Now that she's older and she's a grandma and she seems to, from behind the camera, behaving like a grandma, where did some of these traits come from? Because usually, I'm not going to say it works 100% of the time. It definitely doesn't. It doesn't even matter if you have 2 family members in the house or a mother and a father in the house. You still can come out crooked. It doesn't matter. But you have a better chance and a lot less of a chance of a mom responding and behaving this way to this extreme when you have 2 parents and 2 parents who did it the best they actually could. Not the ones that say we did the best I could and they didn't show up for nothing. I don't care. There's a whole bunch of them that say that. I'm talking about the ones who actually tried. When you have some that sit down and actually try, the outcome is, I would say, I would give it a 60-40. Okay, when you don't have the trying, then it results to like a 30-70. You know what I mean? Or something like that. But I think you have and people say, yes, you can be rich and have shitty kids. Yes, you can have 2 parents that are great and have shitty kids. And I agree with all of that. I know a whole bunch of kids who came from great parent households that turned out bad. I know a whole bunch of kids who had money but wanted to hang out in the corner because they thought it was cool. I know. But the odds in the favor of when you have or when you meet the right person and you settle down with that person to have this outcome is a little less likely. Now, in our day and age, everybody wants to be an I gotcha person, which is, well, just because you got 2 parents don't mean nothing. The kid, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I didn't say everybody. What I did say is you're more likely to have a better outcome. That's what I'm saying. So whenever anybody starts saying, oh, no, you can have 2. Listen, I'm not saying everybody. I'm saying what it says is you are more likely to have a better outcome when you have 2 parents that are on the same page, 2 parents that have the same kind of discipline, 2 parents that have the same structure, 2 parents that have the same consistency, 2 parents that can work together to work out things. You usually have a kid that comes out with a better outcome. You don't need two rich parents, because two rich parents, even if they're good, usually it messes up the kid too. So just have some broke ass parents with good morals, and you come out with a good kid. But
Broke parents make the best parents.
but seriously, two parents who get along, they don't necessarily have to love each other, but they have to co-parent well. Two parents that actually work together and really work together, not being one of the we did the best we could. Yeah, right. Two parents that really try and are as consistent as can be, because the world, life be life, and like they said, and there's things that get in the way. But the ones who try and work through it the best usually have the best outcome, regardless if you get it right or not. You don't have to be perfect, but when they see that consistently you are trying to be there, you're trying to be the best that you can, you produce better kids, better outcomes.
Well,
you don't have the grandma sitting there saying, "This is my fault." Well, a lot of them won't even say that, but I do know some that do. When they look back, they say, "This is my fault,"
and that's the thing. Because I think that something has to be said about the cycle being unbroken at this point. Because if you look at the grandmother looks single to me. Because I've watched, again, I went on the page and I watched a series of videos because I wanted to get a feel of what was really going on with this family. And there was no man as far as with the grandmother. And now there's a lot of videos that show the grandmother or whatever, and she really does not look all that old. Okay, she's like in her, I think she had even mentioned that she's like in her 50, like 53 or something like that. So I'm like, well, shit. She's not much older than I am. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you're raising all of your grandchildren, which are crazy, but apparently there's a cycle that still hasn't been broken. It's still continuing. So what about the grandmother's parents? Mm-hmm. Where were they, and what was that situation like? Because now apparently you raised a mother of children that she's not even taking care of. Okay, so again, whether it's a single family home or whether it's a home where you have the mother, the father, and so forth, it could still go wrong. So with the grandmother, was it the case where her parents failed, you know what I'm saying, just did the best they could with her, but she still raised a child that didn't do right by her own children? Somewhere there's still a cycle that still needs to be broken somewhere. It's still a cycle that needs to be broken. And I think that this young lady that was highlighted in this video, I think she is the key to breaking the cycle in her family line.
And
hold on, let me ask you a question. Hold on. What happened with the great grandparents?
Huh? That's what the
great grandparents do. Okay,
that's what I was saying, because I think
great grandparents. What the heck did it started? It goes back that
it goes way back, because again, the grandmother that is raising the children there is no man that was highlighted in any of the videos. And I went through their whole timeline of videos. There's no man on the scene. It's just the grandmother. And the one that had the one that was on the phone, that was her child. That's not her only child. There is another child that was mentioned. That's why I said there's a series of videos with that goes with that particular one, that I implore everyone to watch that video, because I'm telling you, it's a lot more that comes out, and it's just what's on the surface of what this little girl is seeing. Because of course you're not going to sit here and put everything on the child. It's just she was speaking from what she saw. That was just everything from her point of view. And that's why, like, the grandmother's reaction to everything was so different than the daughter's reaction. The daughter, it's like she was upset about it, but she just had questions. It's like, well, why? How come it was like this? Why was it like that? Why are you saying that you did everything, but you really didn't? Like, I'm seeing what I'm seeing. And the grandmother is just in the background with the camera, just going the fuck off. Like, nah, fuck that, fuck you, bitch, because she goes off on her. She goes the fuck off. Oh, fuck you, bitch, don't call here no more. I don't leave the fucking kids with me. And So the cycle has started way before the grandmother. It started before the grandmother. So this is why, as it goes on, it's like, yeah, it's just going to keep going. And this little girl is the key to breaking that cycle. She is the key to breaking that cycle in her line of females in her family. The great grandmother, the grandmother, the mother, down to her siblings. She is the key to breaking the cycle. And I really, really, really wish that we could be there. And if they continue to put out videos as the kids got older and all that, that we could see that over the years, that she flourished into something beautiful and great and got married and had a good man in her life and had fucking kids that she take care of. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see that for her because I believe that she is the key to breaking the cycle. Cheers.
And honestly, I would hope she does because it would make a better life for her. Because what's going on in the house is not showing her anything of a better life. They're showing they're showing her to stay in survival mode. I guess that's what they call it now.
Wow.
Where you're not really enjoying life, you're whatever, you're doing everything to survive. Because you got a bad start. And we need to stop. We need to stop because we all talk about we're kings and queens and blah, 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 blah. I wish y'all would shut up with that shit. And the reason why I say that is because you talk about shit that was a long time ago. You don't talk about now. And then if your kid is such a king or a queen or a prince or whatever, then why are you condoning the behavior of them? Because kings and queens don't walk around cursing and shitting all the time. They're supposed to be a little prim and proper. And if they're supposed to be your princess, if they're supposed to be your prince, then why are you not acting like a queen? Why are you not acting like a king? Why are you not showing those royal subjects what it's supposed to look like? You know what I mean? I'm tired of that. But that's neither here nor there. But this whole thing is, I hope that this little girl can look at the life she lived, look at what she didn't like. And I'm not saying that everything a bad parent does is not good. There are some things that my mom did that were good rules. Did she follow them all? No, but they're good rules. So I took those rules. But there's a lot of things that she did bad. And this girl sees the things that her mom is doing bad. She can articulate them at a younger age and has somebody that's an adult that is willing to back her up. I didn't have that. People got mad at me because I saw my mother for who she was early, around this age. I saw it. And people were, oh, you got an attitude. You got a whatever. That's the one thing that I do admire about the grandmother is that the grandmother is not telling the girl, no, that's your mom. She basically can't do anything wrong. You have an attitude because you are seeing what your mom is. She's not doing that. She's validating this girl's experience. So that is another thing that should help her and boost her confidence. Because no, I got told that I was the bad guy and that's your mom. And why are you so mad? And you just got an attitude all the time and all this other. And I'm sitting there saying, do you guys know? Just like she's saying, do you guys know? Right. This is what my mom is doing. And it's hard to not listen to what she's saying and not in some way identify with that. Not 100%. I'm not a girl, but I can understand a mom saying, well, I did the best I could. Well, I did all this stuff. And you know damn well that she ain't do the best she could. She was that mom that wasn't there for you. This one, she's straight out telling you that. You know what I mean? Kids, let's put it this way. At her age, kids are not like, mom, be right up under me all the time. You know what I mean? They do want a certain amount of distance. She's getting into that age where she's going to start hanging out with her friends more, but she's telling you that she don't see you. So you really must not be around. And this is the thing that I'm hoping that, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but I hope she takes this in and realizes when it's her turn to not repeat it, to not go into that cyclical mode, to
That's
not
why
be
I believe,
that next statistic.
That's why I believe that she is the turning point of that whole cycle. Throughout that whole lineage, she is the turning point. She is the key. She's going to be the one to make things. She's going to spin it around. I'm telling you. Oh, excuse me. I don't know.
And I really hope she does, because I think
she's going to be the one. I promise you that.
She seems very smart. She seems very well. She seems very astute to be able to express exactly in adult terms. She's not talking like a little kid.
Understand.
She's talking like a young adult.
She mentioned it. She didn't say, she kept it. What did she say? She's like, I'm not two.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because you know what it is? I've also noticed that parents that are like this, what they end up doing is they think that the same game that they got away with when they were 1, they can get away with when they're 15. And they don't act like their kid grew up. And their kids and the kids have been seeing them for a very long time about what they are. And they just kind of still enthralled with themselves. So they just keep going, oh, you know, I'm doing the best and we'll see and we'll do it. And all these vague answers that the kid knows it means no, or it knows means I'm not going to see you.
Right.